pleasure to meet y'all at last. I'm back again, and why is that? Here's my next question for why is that? Why is that you go to Planet Fitness? And of course, he is speaking of my Planet Fitness membership. If you've not already seen that vlog, I'll put a link to that in the description box below. For now though, let's just get to the answer of the question as to why he's referring to the fact that I am a member of Planet Fitness. The reason why I'm part of Planet Fitness nowadays is because, well, if you haven't already noticed from my figure, anywhere on my body that you can see, it appears that I am overweight. But this is really a skeptical part of my system that I feel I have no clue to figure out at the moment. Because I've got a large composition of any of the tissue groups that involves muscle, fat, bone. I do have plenty of the bone and muscle, but it seems like now a third of my body is composed of fat cells as well. Those of which I've referred to as toxins, because just about everybody else who has endured obesity epidemics around the world know for a fact that all of that area down there that just bundles up in the belly area, they're just toxins. They're not just lonely fat cells that just abide within the interior wall. They're just toxins. They just lie right in there, like flabby and all that unbelievable shenanigans that just pile up right inside your torso area. But it can also protrude up here, down the arms, down the legs. But of course my hands were a bit thick as well because of that. From the looks of it though, there are still plenty of toxins that just are being left behind, and they just have no reason to want to leave my body for good. And I figured, why not go to Planet Fitness? If they have state-of-the-art workout systems and programs, as well as machinery that you could use, I figured I should go there. I ended up getting the Black Card membership. The Black Card membership also offers spa treatments, as well as access to certain machines in there, including the tanning salon, which I'm certainly not going to use because I'm not looking forward to having cancer as part of my life. If you don't already notice, UV energy and the like that just abide within the UV energy that just occupies the interior of any tanning booth. It's just pretty dangerous. That's why I wouldn't really want to get a tan in any case, but I practically have no choice since I always go outside, and I practically get tan no matter what time of the day it is. Because as it turns out, even when the sun's being blocked out by clouds, you still get UV energy pouring out from the sun's photon rays, and they can actually burn the skin. It doesn't matter if the sun is exposed from the clouds or if it's blocked by the clouds. It just protrudes its UV rays down onto it, and you can actually feel the heat. Even though there are certain temperatures at which the sun is being blocked by the clouds, and therefore it doesn't grant as much heat to you as it would with, well, a cloudy type of day. But nevertheless though, now that I'm part of Planet Fitness, I can safely say that I am going to occupy a lot of my time going over there. I have been trying to do it every day, but now it seems like I'm trying to do it only 3 times a week. And I found out some evidence as to why my body can not necessarily work there every day. The reason may be is because of the fact that there are signs in there saying that I will need at least a day of rest in between workout sessions that I take in Planet Fitness, regardless of the fact that everyday workouts are supposedly a daily routine that need to be occupied by America's population, no matter what kind of group it is, ranging from certain weight groups it's just a matter of time before America itself becomes another laughingstock at the fact that its enormous brethren worth of gluttony is just an unsatisfying portion of our culture. What I could say already about it is that we are indeed recovering from the obesity epidemic we've been in for at least 2 decades. But now it seems like it's going to get worse from this point on because of restaurants like the Heart Attack Grill, Hooters, and Longhorn Steakhouse. They all seem to really play a big role in indicating whether or not obesity is going to be a really popular thing around the nation. But here, Canada, Mexico, doesn't really matter where anybody comes from, really. Obesity is just not really a great way to live off life. I did weigh over 249 pounds back then, but nowadays it is going down. But somehow it's just climbing back up. After doing some research, I indicated and I suspected that my muscle cells were building back up. I was building up more muscle tissue as I kept on working out there. I was mostly muscle training there anyways, using any kinds of equipment that I could, including plenty of those that associate with certain muscular groups, including the deltoids, how I'm doing right now is that I'm actually doing pretty darn well. I have been lifting plenty of weights, no matter if it's the dumbbell or if it's just a regular old weight system that involves the bar with circular weights being put on the sides of it, or if it's anything else, including the stretching room as well as the abdominal room and the 30-minute room, which all 3 of those rooms involved plenty of different sessions for you to use. Especially the abdominal and the 30-minute room, they both involve a specific time zone of which they have to work out in that amount of time, unless you're not really doing real well, you're handling an injury or something. Fact is, many people who are injured may not be able to work out. I know it's something that's very obvious and highly logical for many, but indeed there are going to be a lot more complications than just injuries and no longer having an ability to work out at any given time. Though I have not indeed scored any injuries along the line, of which I have been doing workouts at Planet Fitness. The worst thing I have encountered was probably some torn abdominal muscles, and that was because, well, I have not really done that much training with my abdominal wall, but rather with most of my other extremities, including the arms and legs, and even the neck area, which is why it's much thicker than average. I know for a fact that anybody can do this. YMCA, Planet Fitness, doesn't matter what kind of gym it is really. Even if it's your high school's gym, anybody should be able to do at least 1 push on the barbell, at least 1 push on the weightlifting barbell, or at least some push-ups or sit-ups. And overall though, out of my FitnessGram exams, because I've had a lot of those since I was about 8 or 9 years old, as I recall, I've actually first started doing the FitnessGram program during my elementary school years, around the time I was 8 years old or 9 years old. It happened somewhere around 3rd or 4th grade for the very first time. And onwards after 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and all of my high school years, I've had at least two FitnessGram exams take place, especially during the semesters, or at least every quarter that takes place in every semester. There would be 2 every semester, 4 throughout the year. Fact is, 4 is how much I've had throughout my high school years, but any time before that I didn't have as much, because since I was younger for the majority of my middle school years, it wasn't exactly as necessary for me to take as many FitnessGram tests. But since I'm older now, I feel that more FitnessGram tests would be necessary, and they may actually prove to be a really good idea for now. My current records, though, as I seem to recall, every one of them, especially the push-up group, pacer test group, and the push-up test, the pacer test, the curl-up test. So far, out of all of them, though, my push-up test, I got 32 as my total best in my whole life by far in the FitnessGram program. My pacer test is 64 laps. That's my current record, my current best. My curl-up group is 55. My sit and reach is 13 on both the left and right. My trunk lift is 13 inches. And from what I can tell, all of those are pretty decent scores. They might even prove to be much better than average as it turns for my age group. 32 push-ups, is it supposed to be for my age group, or am I supposed to get more than 32? Tell me in the comment section below about it. How about my curl-ups? My curl-ups, I did about 55 of them. That's my current best. My pacer test is 64 laps. And as I recall from a specific time, 56 was supposed to be my recommended amount of laps that I needed to do to be around the average. But I feel that 64 is above average. If you believe 64 was the average that you went through, comment down below about that as well. With every other test that I've done for the FitnessGram program, I feel like I could give myself at least one pat on the back, or I could even really treat myself to something out there. But here's the catch. Aside from being a part of Planet Fitness, I've also organized a diet, free of carbs, free of sugars, which is nothing like the keto diet, because it also involves being dressing free, being gluten free, being lactose free, and I'm trying to avoid certain types of milks and others that include lactose. And I'm also trying to avoid certain other, well, unavoidable pieces of the nutritional facts label that just really, they never stop coming. They never will. But here's another part that probably doesn't really relate to the question, but seeing as how we're discussing healthy parts of our lives now, let's just get going. If you've never seen the documentary released in around late 2017 called What the Health, then you would have found out that there have been tons of reports gearing towards bacon, pastrami, any types of processed meats becoming lethal, becoming loaded with cancers, becoming their own group of carcinogens. Yep. You may never want to eat BLT again, or even eat ham. Anything that has been processed, any kind of meat that's been processed, we've discovered they're another group of carcinogens. So now we've got something else to worry about other than tobacco smoke, radioactive materials, or even smoke coming out from refineries or factories. Because those three already are bad groups of carcinogens that are fairly common. But now we got processed meats that are adding themselves to the group of carcinogens. It's a bad world already, but now we got ourselves another group of carcinogens that we can, in fact, avoid. I've done anything that I could to just avoid these types of carcinogens, and I've also done whatever I could to eat whatever I could look for to lessen my risk of developing cancer sometime in my lifetime. Cancer, obesity, in obesity there are heart attacks, strokes, impeding of blood flows, possibly heartburns as well. Those two main things, obesity and cancer, are things that I will not want to catch sometime in my lifetime. At most glance, natural causes would be my way to go. Unless, of course, there was something that would beat me to it. Natural disaster, getting shot, or at least stabbed even by a convict. But I feel that death shouldn't relate to the question either. Because the question is, why am I a Planet Fitness member? Or rather, why is that I'm a Planet Fitness member? And the answer to it is because of all that I just explained. I wouldn't want to end up unhealthy, I wouldn't want to end up obese, and more importantly, I wouldn't want to become a cancer victim. A victim of any sorts of those three things. So that's why my future is going to rely on my health becoming better over time. Now, if you want to see more answers to the questions that I make sure you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side. Be healthy.